Trail travelers, it's Carrie, and we've talked in the past about winching techniques, recovery tools, but there's one that I've never shown you before, and it has literally been a lifesaver. It has got us out of situations that without it we would have been seriously in trouble. And those are situations where we don't have something to winch off of. Now, we're here in Colorado and often in Wyoming and other places, and we're in the mountains. Once we get to about 12,000 feet, there's no trees. And in some places where there's been burns in the past, the trees are very young and you can't winch off of those. So if you need to winch, what do you do? Well, that's what we're going to talk about when we come right back. Okay, so we're talking about winching situations where there's no trees to winch off of, no rocks to winch off of. Well, the simple answer is that's why you never wheel alone, is so that you have another vehicle that you can winch off of. Well, that works, except in really two scenarios. One, where it's the lead vehicle that gets stuck or hung up somewhere, and there's no way to get past that vehicle and get repositioned in order to winch forward. The other is the tail position, where you have to go backwards or sideways or something, and there's no way for someone to turn around and help you. In those cases, you need some way of winching off something when there's nothing to winch off of. And that's where this guy comes in. This is the pole pal. This is a land anchor. Now we set this up, and it's kind of like an old-fashioned plow. It digs into the ground, creates an anchor point, and that's what we can winch off of. Let me show you how it works. So inside the bag, we have the main apparatus and the spade here. So this is the part that's going to dig into the ground. And as you can see, it does have dirt on it. We have actually used this. And then you have the main unit itself, which opens up, kind of see a picture there, and we connect the winch line to this, and that's how we get going. So pull this guy out. So on one side, we have this big reinforced eyelet. That's what we're going to connect the winch line to. And on the other side, we have the prongs that we connect the spade to. It's a little cold today. Move that over and lock it into place, and we're ready to go. You can see we've started digging into the ground a little bit. We're going to get some tension on the line. Then we'll be able to take the Jeep out of park and see if we can winch it. And there we go. We've managed to unstick ourselves, winching up without the use of a tree, using the pole pal. Well, there's the pole pal. You saw how it was used. Is it going to work in every situation? No. If you're on Moab slick rock, there's nothing for it to dig into. Sometimes you can wedge it between some rocks or something, but Generally, it's for this type of scenario where you've got dirt or snow and it can dig down into it. Now, I said this has saved our butt. No joke. We were in Wyoming doing, we were the first vehicle or the first non-motorcycle to complete the whole Wyoming BDR last year. And we got stuck going up a muddy, slushy, snowy hill. And there was just no way we could get up it. And we had our tribe trailer overland base camp. We set this up at the top of the hill. We were able to winch the Jeep, which is 6,000 pounds, and the trailer, which is damn near 2,000 pounds, up a muddy trail. So that was pretty steep too. And the pole pal worked perfectly. Now, as good as it is, there are a few disadvantages. One, it's heavy. It's pretty chunky. Two, it's big, takes up a decent amount of space, but it folds pretty flat. So it's usually not too difficult to find some place where you can slide it in. In the JL, it fits perfectly behind the two seats and all the way up against the front, no problem. It's short enough, it doesn't affect the doors, and it's expensive. This thing's gonna run about $650. So it's an expensive piece of recovery gear. Probably second only to your winch. In some cases, even more expensive than your winch. But when you need it, you need it. And sometimes there's just no other options out there. And that's where the pole pal comes in. Should everybody have one? Absolutely not. That's overkill. But if you go out with other people all the time, you have a regular group, everyone should pitch in and buy one. If you go solo, you absolutely should have one. If you're in a club, the club should have one. Something like that. If you're volunteering to do recovery gear, then it may make sense to have one, because you just never know when you're going to be in that situation where there's nothing else to pull off of, or to anchor, or to set up a snatch block, or any of these scenarios where there's just nothing else you can connect to. The pole pal could really be a lifesaver. So check it out at Pole Pal. I'll put links below and in the description. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I paid full price for this thing because we wanted it for our Wyoming trip. And boy, am I glad we had it. So thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Kerry with Trail Traveler here in the mountains of Colorado. Be safe out there. We'll see you on the trail. Not like that. Yeah, this thing's definitely not like that.